It spreads like the flu.
Impossible.
Fine. Go to the hospital, check it out yourself. Go without a mask, you'll see more clearly. You got 19 dead, you got hundreds more infected, and it's spreading like a brush fire. You gotta isolate the sick, and I mean really isolate them, Billy. We gotta get everybody else back into their houses. We gotta keep them there.
We're doing that, Sam.
No, we're not doing it because I just drove through 100 people.
Searching for the unusual, the obscure, the forgotten treasures hidden deep within streaming media. This is the Deep Dive Podcast.
Plane in the sun! Get below! Look out! Get below! Dive the boat! Dive the boat!
Take her down to 150 feet, steer course 090.
Continue to dive.
Hello, divers. Welcome to the Deep Dive Podcast, a never-ending quest to find the best and sometimes worst content hiding in your streaming media feeds. I'm Tom Feeney, writer for Wingshot Movie Magazine. Look for it on Amazon.com. And with me, as always, is my Corona host,
The Mandalorian, still in quarantine.
Still in quarantine, yes, right. Oh, boy, have we got a show for you.
It's a very poignant show. What do you call something when it's like in the moment happening?
Scary.
Well, yeah, that too. Yep.
Imminent.
That's what it is.
Immediate.
Immediate.
Urgent. Yeah.
Relevant. That's what it was. That's the word.
Relevant.
What?
What? No. So, anyway, because this is going to be, I think, a little bit of it's a different feel for the show. So, in order to lighten the mood, I'm going to start with a joke.
Okay.
You are laughing already. That's a good sign. Why did the banana go to the doctor's office?
Because he found it appealing.
No, because he wasn't peeling well.
Oh, I mean, both work. Mine was probably a little bit better, but
That's
whatever.
all right. Well, in all seriousness, it's scary times these days. What with a certain, virus that has been making people crazy. The virus is not making people crazy. That's bath salts. But I'm talking about the concern around this virus is causing some panic.
Hysteria.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
That's good.
Yeah. And so we're going to devote a little bit of our time to that.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about some medical movies.
Ooh.
To continue this scary theme, but we're going to stick with a little bit of our usual content. So the medical profession, as it stands right now, has given us many hours of entertainment as well as panic, as we're doing right now. It's mostly in the form of, thank God that isn't me. When you watch movies and TV shows that are medical related, like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm sitting here with my popcorn and, beer, just having a good time, and I'm not sick.
Like every episode of House?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's not lupus. It's never lupus.
Never lupus.
So it's been one of the most popular genres since the beginning of film.
Yeah.
So it's still to this day. You've got all kinds of medical shows, medical movies like The Good Doctor, and I think Grey's Anatomy's been on the air for 25 years.
ER,
or as I like to call it, Yeah. So that's going to be our topic. We're going to delve a little bit more into this whole coronavirus thing in a little bit, but I'm going to start off with my first pick. So let's cut this sucker open and see what spills out, shall we?
Ew.
I'm already getting to a good start. My first pick is a personal favorite because it has a pretty interesting pedigree and a personal story attached to it. And I'm talking about the 1991 thriller Body Parts.
Ew.
Yes. So it stars Jeff Fahey, who has been in a lot of movies and TV shows, and probably is best remembered as pilot Frank Lapidus in the last few seasons of Lost. Loved Frank. He's a great.
Jesus Lapidus.
Yeah, he's a great character. But in Body Parts, he plays an upstanding husband and father named Bill Cruikshank, who is severely injured in a pretty gruesomely depicted car accident. So along with other injuries, one of his arms is severed in the accident. Now, this kind of enigmatic doctor shows up, and she proposes a radical surgical procedure to attach a new arm from a donor body. The operation is a complete success, and soon after, very soon after, Bill's new arm is working perfectly. Sort of.
But it came from a serial killer.
Yes, that's true. So he starts having these horrifying visions of committing vicious murders. And at times he actually loses control of the arm.
I was actually just kidding. I'm sorry. I ruined your
No,
plot.
it's absolutely true. You saw it coming. So while at a prison in his job, he's a criminal psychologist.
Oh, of course. He's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, basically. So he's talking to an inmate as part of his job in the prison. The inmate notices that there's a tattoo on Bill's new arm. And that tattoo is one that's only given to death row inmates.
Oh, man. His new arm.
His new arm has a
Can't get over it.
death row tattoo on it. Now, of course, Bill's horrified by this revelation, and he has the fingerprints of this new hand checked, which you'd think that would be something you'd do immediately. Right. So he has those fingerprints checked and discovers that, yes, his arm did come from a serial killer.
What if you woke up and found something terrible had happened?
You lost your arm in a car accident yesterday. We've transplanted another arm for you.
What if you'd been given the arm of a killer?
They only give those out on death row, pal.
What if the killer came to take it back? Stay with them! Body Parts. It will scare you to pieces. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 2nd at a theater near you.
It will scare you to pieces. Oh, I love that. So, okay. Now, Bill is becoming more violent all the time and unstable. So he decides to go on a quest for some answers. He discovers that there were other recipients of different body parts from the same serial killer, and they've been having the same terrible visions. Not only that, but somebody begins killing the other organ recipients.
Whoa.
So you got to figure out, is it Bill operating without his own knowledge? Is it the weird surgeon? Or is the serial killer maybe not as dead as we thought?
What did he just do? Like give his arm away?
No, you got to watch the movie. It's actually pretty good. I like this movie. It's got a great premise. Really, it's got good acting. There's some good performances in it, and a few really, really cool scenes that make it worth watching. The car crash scene in the beginning of the film is actually really well staged and pretty it's sort of a pre-Final Destination kind of scenario type thing.
Okay.
So it's actually really, really cool. Now, the film was directed by a man named Eric Red, who wrote some classic horror films like The Hitcher and Near Dark. And interestingly enough, years later, he himself was involved in a terrible automobile accident where he drove his SUV into a crowded pool hall, killing 2 people.
Why?
Well, he claimed that he suffered from syncope, which is a temporary loss of consciousness caused by an interrupted flow of blood to the brain.
So like falling asleep or fainting.
Kind of, yeah. So now there's some question about whether or not that's true or not. But
you can't prove it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he was not like convicted or anything. They said it was, involuntary and all that.
Sounds like a Joe Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, don't get Chappaquiddick with me. That was Teddy.
Oh, yeah.
Kennedy.
Sorry, one of the Kennedys.
I forgot how to swim. So now, I said there was a personal story attached to this, and there is. So I saw this movie, Body Parts, with some friends at a theater in Las Vegas during its initial release. After the movie, I was driving across town. I was just about to pass over the Las Vegas Strip when I was involved in a car accident of my own. I got rear-ended by another car, and then that pushed me into the car in front of me.
Yeah.
Nobody was injured, thank goodness for that. But the fact that I actually got into an accident after watching a movie about an accident,
That's foreshadowing.
that was not lost on me, the irony of that, at the time or since then. So that was it was a very memorable thing just for that reason, because I was still, I just left that movie when
my gosh.
sort of the same thing happened, just not as severe.
Right.
And so that was kind of interesting.
Was
So-
your car totaled?
No, it just had a few little bumps and dings, but I got I got jostled around a little
A
bit.
whiplash?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was trying to say whiplash.
I do not speak gibberish. Oh boy,
It's all these
whiplash. Oh my goodness,
No.
you're infected.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Now let's get to the scores.
I'm not going to think these are too high.
5.6 out of 10
And I would be right.
on the Internet Movie Database, and a whopping 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. So there. Now, Body Parts, if you'd like to see this, and I actually do recommend it because I did like it, is available to rent, and it can be rented on most streaming platforms for the low, low price of $3.99. So that is my... Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Something's happening. Something's coming in.
What's going on?
Hold on.
And now, it's the Deep Dive News Break with The Mandalorian.
Good evening. I'm the Mandalorian. What is the coronavirus, or COVID-19? Do you need to be worried about it? Are you the only one who thought it was funny being named after a light and refreshing Mexican beer? We'll answer these questions in this next segment. According to the government, yes, the government, you need to panic. At least that's what they first inferred. The government has since retracted their hysteria-inducing jargon and has asked Americans to be prepared, rather than worried. But what does being prepared mean? Hand washing. This is something that should be on the top of our minds wherever we go. Think of how many surfaces you touch. The CDC suggests scrubbing your hands with soapy water for at least 20 seconds, which, incidentally, matches up perfectly with the Happy Birthday tune.
Yeah, you're not going to sing, are you?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. I didn't want you to do that. All right. Number 2, stockpiling food and medications. This can be difficult for some folks, but the majority of people contend that canned goods such as soups, vegetables, and milk are the way to go. They don't require refrigeration and usually last for long periods of time. By the way, many pharmacies will allow you to have a vacation supply of medication or a month's long or several months worth of medication at a time. Please consult your pharmacy for more details.
Hashtag sponsor us, CVS.
Yes.
When you're sick, stay away. School, work, church, softball practice, and D&D club will all understand if you stay away while recuperating.
Oh, D&D.
I know. What we do know is that most viruses, including the coronavirus, are transmitted through respiratory means. Coughing, sneezing, and vomiting on your little brother is normally acceptable, but please refrain.
Gross.
If you think you're sick, you can always use a telehealth system like telehealth or Doxy.
Hashtag sponsor us.
Which most major insurances provide. You may also be able to speak to your doctor's office over the phone in order to try and stop spreading your germies.
Ew. Number 4, stay away from other mutants or people. If someone that you know or you live with is sick, try to limit your interactions with them. Remember, roomies, if you're sick and you don't share toiletries, please don't do that. And use the can after everyone else has. Use your wipes. You have wipes, get wipes.
Get the wipes.
Get the wipes. The wipes are good.
I'm thinking that we can have a lot of sponsors. Like Huggies probably loves us right now.
I love Huggies.
Yeah.
I'm wearing them right now.
Be smart about your travel plans. Looking into the intended country or destination before travel is always a good idea, but in this case, areas of the world are given a number based on their travel risk. A level 1 is the lowest risk, and a level 4 means it's 28 days later. Don't go there. As of right now, NPR has released some statistics which we think are important to share with you, our audience, who, even if the virus takes you away from work and life as you know it, will still be listening to this podcast.
We will be your only friends, and that makes you sad. Wipes. Don't forget the wipes.
Wipes. Definitely wipes. And canned milk.
Wipes.
Most of these cases that have been reported have actually been classified as mild. That means most people are recovering.
That's most, not all.
Yes.
Each new virus/disease is rated by the CDC, or Center for Disease Control, as having quote-unquote disease burden. This determines the effectiveness of a particular disease. Now, the death rate is roughly 2% and seems to be affecting folks with compromised immune systems, such as smokers, the elderly, people with pre-existing conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure. So this is compared to the 34%, which claim folks who came down with the novel MERS virus in the last decade. So the mortality rate, as far as we know right now, is very, very low. However, the way this disease strikes is usually at the end of the disease's run. It can attack the respiratory system, causing breathing problems and pneumonia. So sometimes if you think you're getting better, it may kick back in. So just keep that in mind.
Always have your orange juice nearby.
And wipes.
And wipes.
Wipes.
Up to 45 million people will be infected with the latest strain of the influenza virus this year. According to the CDC, about 60,000 of them will die, which is about 0.1%.
But none of our listeners will.
No. You
Can't have
that.
that.
Promise.
We need all we can get.
Yeah, right? We're looking at you, Netherlands.
That's right. So there is no concrete evidence that wearing a mask will prevent you from contracting the disease. Is it helpful? Well, maybe. But the folks racing to the store for masks right now, nope, not a good idea. Once and for all, if you have the virus, then a mask is effective in preventing you from spreading the disease because it is spread through close contact and water droplets from coughing or sneezing that become airborne. So also, think about the food and the meds. Also some toiletries, maybe some fresh toothbrushes, some toilet paper, things like that. Saltines. Yeah, I can't eat saltines.
Wipes.
Yeah, wipes.
Get the wipes.
All of the wipes. All of the wipes. So, and this is a message for all of you introverts out there. You're going to make it through this just fine. No
right,
worries.
because you would never come out of your basement anyways.
Exactly, so don't worry.
So it's going to be good.
Pizza delivery might be a problem, but hey, what are you going to do? Domino's delivers even during pandemics.
So for all those who are afraid of garlic and also afraid of vampires, let you know that despite it having benefits such as being antimicrobial and also lowering your cholesterol, it's not going to help you prevent virus contamination or spreading.
However, having said that, certain things like Lysol spray and other disinfectant sprays can help lower risks because as of right now, we do not know how long the virus will stay active on surfaces.
Truth.
Typically with viruses, you're looking at 30 minutes, but we don't know. Now, you do not have to worry if you're one of those that likes to make Amazon purchases or eBay purchases from China. The virus cannot survive in that environment.
Right, because it's warm, it's cold, it's long.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about that. Really, right now, it's just human-to-human contact, close contact. If you are in an airplane, it's not going to get filtered through the air filter system. Like I said, it has to be within about 6 feet and only close contact or by inhaling water vapor from a cough or a sneeze.
Just don't breathe.
Yeah. Or just bring those oxygen masks down right away from the top and just use those the whole flight. I don't think they're going to go for that, though. Now, also remember, antibiotics only work against bacteria, not viruses. This is why you do not get antibiotics when you have a cold. All right? So, we here at the Deep Dive Podcast, we care.
We do.
About you because we can't afford to lose any of you listeners. We have so few as it is. So if you happen to get caught up in this whole viral mess, here are a few movies to tide you over while you wait in your room alone and, you're on your binge streaming services here. So, Manda, what do you got for those?
Well, there's always the good old 28 days later.
Oh, yes.
You can get that on Hulu and Amazon Prime, DirecTV if you have a subscription. You can also rent it on Redbox, Microsoft for $2.99.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's the accompanying 28 weeks later, which, of course, if you didn't catch that, it happens after the first movie. So it's a period.
28 weeks plus 28 days.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh,
it's a lot of time.
I can't count that.
And Hulu has done us the great favor of actually adding this as well to their library, so you can now watch them in order for free, or you can again rent on Redbox and Microsoft for $2.99.
Sweet.
Oh, and we've got a couple more. World War Z with Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
is on the FX Now app.
Z stands for Zinger.
Zinger is free on that app with a subscription. You can get it on Amazon, YouTube, and Vudu for $2.99, or my personal kind of not favorite because it's not good like the original, Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, the original's the best.
The 2004 version.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's available on Redbox for $2.99. And, what's going to make you feel better other than watching a giant pandemic apocalypse about people dying of viruses?
That's right. You could even say that those picks were part of a mandemic.
Oh, because I'm Manda.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. And that was the Deep Dive News Break with the Mandalorian.
That was
should
fun.
Totally make that a regular segment.
I know, that was so fun.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta practice my news anchor voice.
That's okay. It'll happen. It'll happen. Your voice is still changing. You're still young.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go with my second pick if that's cool.
Go ahead.
So my second pick is a film that seems especially relevant, even almost 50 years after its original release. And I'm talking about 1971's The Andromeda Strain.
Oh.
Yes, based on the 1969 novel by
No idea.
Jurassic Park writer Michael Crichton.
That's why it was familiar.
That's right.
I've
That's
seen the
right.
book. Yes.
So this movie is about a team of scientists that are brought together in an underground facility. Their job is to solve the mystery
Of making dinosaurs.
No, that's later. Later. Oh boy. They're going to solve the mystery of an incredibly dangerous organism that hitched a ride on a satellite that crashed to Earth.
With the suddenness of a snapping finger, a whole town dies, almost without a trace.
In theory, I suppose a single organism could do it. But in fact, there isn't an organism under it. You mean there didn't used to be?
Almost without a clue, except for a 6-month-old baby and a 60-year-old derelict. They have faced the Andromeda strain and survived. But will anybody else?
It's growing.
The Robert Wise production of the most incredible bestseller of the decade.
The Andromeda strain.
130 minutes of intense excitement.
96 of the most critical hours in world history.
Suspense to last a lifetime.
Maybe too intense for younger children.
The Robert Wise production of The Andromeda Strain.
Rated G.
Rated G. Rated G. You heard that correctly.
How is that
Rated
possible?
G. Well, if you listened to my microcast last week about the rating system, you'll know that it really was only half-baked at that point. So they really didn't have their stuff
Something
together.
was half-baked.
Yeah, so... But anyway, as that little trailer said, the film starts in a tiny Mexico town, a New Mexico town, where most of the residents have died horribly from some previously unknown pathogen.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, no, wait, what? Chupacabra. It's a Jersey devil. So there are only 2 survivors, an elderly alcoholic and an infant. And the pair are taken to a secret government facility called Wildfire to study the organism and figure out how to destroy it. Or maybe use it as a later date as a biological weapon. The scientists have doubts about their ultimate purpose there, but if the unthinkable happens, and it's a movie, so that's a good bet, there's a fail-safe nuclear self-destruct mechanism that will obliterate the entire base if the threat of the virus getting out is imminent. So it's kind of interesting. Now, what's great about this movie is the level of detail concerning the whole process by which the scientists deal with this organism. Now, of course, being from Michael Crichton, it's very, very scientific, very heavily into the technical and medical thing, which was, he was a doctor, of course, before he started writing.
Dr. Michael Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. So he was all for that kind of stuff, which was really cool. Now, the technology that they're using in the movie may have seemed futuristic back in 1971. It may seem a little quaint today, but you can totally imagine something like this actually happening because the subject matter is treated with incredible seriousness and gravity. Yeah. There are, there's these medical concerns, paranoia, politics, human error, mechanical failures, and a lot of tension in this movie. It is a first-rate thriller from beginning to end. Some very, very understated performances, very realistic, kind of there's not a whole lot of, hand-wringing drama,
right.
But they're all kind of very low-key and they know their jobs and they're all smart people, which I always like movies with people like that because you know that you're not smarter than they are. And I hate movies where I feel like I'm smarter than the characters. It's oh, come on now.
You had one job.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're watching a movie with people that are doing their jobs really well, I like that.
Right.
So there's some really cool retro tech in this too, and it really holds up today. It's something that
scary.
It's scary because you can see a lot of parallels.
Ugh.
So even today, 50 years later, it's still amazing.
I can't believe that was 50 years ago.
Yeah,
wow.
Almost not. Yeah, 1971.
Wow.
So 19 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, 49 years ago. So yeah. That's my second pick. I highly recommend it. It gets a 7.2 out of 10 and 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you can find it as a rental for $3.99 on Amazon Prime Video, iTunes, Google Play, and Vudu.
Vudu?
Yes, Vudu.
Well, that was a good pick. It also brought to the surface one of my worst fears.
Which is?
Which is being the sole survivor of something and then being experimented on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine like being, like, oh, I'm some mutant virus, whatever, but I have the strain that fixes it. Let me take all your blood and give it away and market it out to all the people in the world. That creeps me out.
Do I get a cut?
No.
I want my money. I want my blood money.
Blood money.
Give me my blood money.
Why does everything always come from Mexico too? Like
avocados?
Yeah.
Avocados from Mexico.
Yeah,
Avocados
okay.
from Mexico.
But there's that Mexican tapeworm that people drink to like get skinny.
Isn't that the jumping one?
That might be. Oh, that's a jumping bean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different.
Yeah, sorry. Like the tequila worm?
Yeah, or like those pops with like things in them, like bugs.
Like scorpions. They seem like big scorpions in them, or
That's
worms,
so horrible.
bugs.
So horrible. The
Yeah.
poor bugs.
I can only have 3 or 4 before I get sick.
Ugh. That's so
not really.
gross.
Scorpion jerky, ever have that?
No.
I don't think that's a thing, though. I'm pretty
There's
sure
not enough meat.
I'm pretty sure that's not. Well, you flash fry it, and you dry it out. Crispy.
I just watched a documentary about guinea pigs because I think they're so cute, and it turns out like in Peru they eat them. Really sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is everybody all scared now? Are y'all scared?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Be
because,
prepared.
Yeah, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Be prepared.
Like, don't be sad. Get glad.
I'm gonna
Hashtag.
we're making some shirts.
Yeah.
New shirts, which, by the way, you can get on our website.
Ooh, thedeepdivepodcast.com.
So, also, besides movies, there are lots of great medical TV shows out there that you can binge watch. MASH, ER.
Oh, I love MASH.
Saint Elsewhere was a great one. Scrubs for comedy.
Never saw Scrubs, but I heard good things.
The first few seasons were really good. And of course,
Holby City in the UK.
Oh, yeah, there you go. House. Yep. Great Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
Very nice. It's not
Love
lupus.
that
guy. So I guess bottom line is, panic doesn't do anybody any good in a situation like this.
Just ask the villagers of Salem in 1600s.
You know why you can't? Because they're all dead now. Well, I mean, they would have been anyway.
They would have been anyways, but also like they were like witches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hysteria never works.
If you want to get some, more information.
Yes.
There are a couple places where you can go to find out more about the coronavirus COVID-19.
Reddit.com.
Yep. No. What? Reddit? No. Do not do that.
Don't go to Reddit.
Don't go to Reddit. That's terrible. I was thinking more of like cdc.gov or who.int for the World Health Organization. Absolutely. So I think...
like, who do you trust more, the CDC or the WHO?
In these times, that's why you want both.
Right.
You want to cross-check.
Yeah.
Stay away from the wacky sites. Stay away from conspiracy sites. Facebook.
Oy. I saw one of those where the people like, this is God's judgment. He's wiping out the people. No. That's not how this works. This happens because sometimes things develop naturally in the world, and sometimes we don't take care of ourselves. And this is the repercussions. Also, like the bubonic plague, that was from like rats. So
yeah, we killed the cats that ate the rats.
Yep.
The rats
ate us.
The rats killed us. So circle of life, folks. Circle of life.
Actually, fun fact: the bubonic plague wiped out like a quarter of the nation at the time.
Also, fun fact: if you say the word bubonic several times fast, it's very funny.
Bubonic.
See, I was right.
Anyway,
so we're going to leave it there for now. On the next dive, come on down. The Deep Dive Microcast is all about the history of game shows. So hands on buzzers and get ready to win some fabulous cash and prizes. Not really.
That's not true. No, when we stop.
Going to happen ever.
Because we don't have any money.
We don't. All we have is our pluck and spunk.
And everyone from the Netherlands.
That's right. Thank you, Netherlands. We love you.
Thank you to Podbean.
Send us chocolates.
Oh, yes. Toblerones.
Yes. And also visit our website once again at
thedeepdivepodcast.com.
And subscribe wherever fine podcasts are found. And thanks to you, our listeners. The feedback we get makes us better or not worse. Yeah. Please keep sending us suggestions and ideas. We might even use them. And if we do, we might even give you credit. Probably not.
Probably.
But once again, we just might. You never know. We're silly like that. Yes.
Keeps on your toes.
Yes. So for the amazing Mandalorian and all of us here in Studio D, I'm Tom Feeney. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wipes.
Wipes. Get the wipes.
Wipes.
safe, people. See ya.
Bye. You can find links to our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram feeds on our website, thedeepdivepodcast.com. If you like us, please subscribe. All clips are intended for educational use only and not to infringe on existing copyrights. Our theme music was produced by Ryan Blaney and EchoCraft. Thanks for listening. The Deep Dive Podcast is a production of Automaton Media.